The concept we're going to be sharing with you today is empathy. Now, the intervention with empathy we would like to share with you is called perspective taking. Now, if you don't know what perspective taking is, it's basically the action of taking the view of someone else. Now, this could be thinking of how another person's thinking. You just try to figure out why they're acting the way they are. You try to think of their emotions, and just about a certain understanding so that you can understand the situation better and help them better. Now, for this, there is a 4-step perspective-taking model that we found that's very helpful, and the 4 steps are self-understanding, or seek understanding, ideate, hypothesize, and observe and adjust.
To elaborate, the first step is seeking understanding, and this is making the first conscious attempt to try to understand the other's viewpoint. The second step is to ideate, and then that's when you think more and more about the viewpoint and the potential flaws in your own viewpoint that could have affected how you interpret their viewpoint. You then hypothesize, and that's when you think of the reasons and justifications for the other's viewpoints. Lastly, you observe and adjust, which is when you change your own actions and see how the others respond to see if you're successful in taking the perspective of someone else. In our case study, Taylor is a diagnosed narcissist, and lately they have been having significant interpersonal conflict with those close to them. As such, they decided to partake in our study about empathy building, perspective-taking exercises. At first, they were tasked to describe objects behind a divider screen and not behind a screen to illustrate that people have different access to information. Next, they were directly tasked to visualize the viewpoints and emotions of those close to them. Lastly, they were tasked to expand this visualization to strangers and even enemies.
The benefits of perspective taking are added dimension, so you have another viewpoint now added to the way that you have a point of view on things. Everybody has a different perspective, and once you understand another person's, you're just adding another dimension to yours. And it helps build empathy and empathetic concern, and this is beneficial in learning and growth and development, both personally and professionally. Drawbacks include, in negative situations, some induced stress. In a study done by Michael Pollan, associate professor at the State University of New York in Buffalo, in 2017, found that people were more distressed when they had imagine self perspective, walking a mile in someone's shoes, versus imagine others, where you view yourself analyzing their perspective from your own position in your own shoes. So compassion collapse is also something that can happen. There's 2 elements to compassion in the study that Michael Pollan did, and one of the elements was an empathetic concern, and the other is desire to help others. And when you have a desire to help others decrease, that causes compassion collapse. So it's not effective towards pro-social behavior, but it does affect empathetic concern. So perspective taking has 3 models that you could choose to deepen your view of the world and relationship with others using perspective taking. One is appreciate your own perspective. That will help you respect others' perspective. You'll realize the unique perspective of others if you go through the hills and valleys of your own thought process, and it will make you less judgmental towards other people's points of view. When you're learning the viewpoint of others, allow the other person to lead the conversation, seek to understand rather than to be understood. Help them develop their own ideas and unique perspective, and try to find some commonality between your thoughts and their thoughts on the matter. And have present moment awareness. So a lot of people think about what they want to say next when they're in a conversation. Forget about what you want to say next and simply listen to the person. Practice mindfulness, and if you're in a professional or student setting, open up a note-taking pad, or you write it down on a piece of paper, or open up a Word doc and just actively take notes on what you're hearing the other person say.